Can the power of words transform your life? Here's a hint for you. Absolutely, they can. And today's guest is going to show us how it's done. I'm thrilled to be joined today by Laura Burkey, a thought, behavior, and communication coach with more than 30 years of experience helping people make the most of the art and science of verbal precision. Laura's mission is simple yet profound: to guide individuals to tap into their inherent power and develop personal mastery through understanding the power of their words. In this episode, Laura is going to share her incredible journey and insights on how the words we use shape the reality we live in. So get ready to have your mind blown as we dive into the life-changing magic of your own vocabulary. Thanks for being here, Laura. I really appreciate you joining us today.
Thank you, Kendra.
So as we're getting started, if you can let everyone know what it is that you're doing today, and then we'll talk about how you got here.
Perfect. What I'm doing today, and I'm enjoying it. I have stepped out of one-on-one coaching, and I am putting myself on stage, literally and metaphorically. And what I am doing is a word workshop called Use Your Words, Love Your Life. And what I help people do is understand the power of their word choice. So that's what I'm doing today. And I'll be happy to ramp you up to how did I get here?
I love that. It's exciting because I think that words are so important and they hold so much power. And I am absolutely fascinated about your journey of how you got here. Tell us where you started.
All right. So I'm going way back to 4 years old. And I'm a twin, and my dad was sitting on my twin's bed at night saying goodnight to each of us. So he's on my bed, talked to me, goodnight, tucked me in, and then he went over to my sisters. And so I was the more verbal, and I think I still am. I was the more verbal child. And so my dad, I think, was like, I had the wherewithal to even know this then, like he's trying to help her speak more confidently, say words. And we were like truly all but 4 years old. And so he was asking her to say a word. And she was slow to it, whatever. And I popped in and I'm like, I can say aluminum. And he has this recorded. This is why I know it, because he used to go in and interview us on the old tape recorder just for fun, like photos, but tapes. So anyway, all the way back then, I've always been a wordie. I'm fascinated by words. I love words. I choose them carefully. I've not always been how I am today, but I'm interested. I'm interested in what a word means, the origin of the word. And then, of course, my work as a coach, sitting with another person and, asking them questions, hearing what they say, and then helping with all of that, decipher where are they, what's blocking them, what could I pull from that that's going to help them on their journey. I've just honed and developed even more what I call my precision in speaking, or word precision, because our thoughts are made of words. So it's not always just in our speaking that we're using words. Most of the words we're using are in the way we construct thoughts, what thoughts we construct. So 4 years old is when it started. And then as a young girl, I wanted to be a broadcaster, be on the news, and just anything talking, communicating. I did. So I graduated college and I went right up to Chicago. And about a year and a half into my new adult life there, I got a job in radio. It was fun. It was a party for a little while, and then it wasn't. And then I went to television, and that really wasn't a party at all. So at 23 years old, very quick from college graduation to 23 years old, I was in the industry I thought I wanted to be in, and I was not happy. I was not fulfilled. I wasn't excited, wasn't energized. I thought, wait a second. I thought when you reached a goal, you were supposed to feel excited, and that's what success was. And it wasn't. So I left radio and television, and I wonderfully got an unexpected gift. I call it a divine gift. And I got an opportunity to live in Italy. And that for me was just an escape. I was hired to be a babysitter / au pair. So it was a real drop from this status I thought I had. But I'm like, I'll take it because I think I'm all dried up. I think I'm all done. And so I needed to go figure out what to do. So in Italy, every Sunday I had off, and I would just sit in a beautiful manicured park in Italy, and I would just sit there and I would constantly ask the question, why am I here? Why am I here? What's my purpose? And after so many Sundays of doing that, and just after asking the question, just letting the answer show up or not, one day, about 3/4 into my journey there, and I was there for a whole year, I started to get an idea in my head. And I'm like, oh my God, I don't know why I know this, but I know this. I know that, and this is 1995. I'm like, I don't
Okay.
know why. I know what I could do is I could sit with somebody and I can help them. And the thing that was in my head was is if they are working at a 9 to 5 job in a cubicle, because I'd come from Chicago, so that's what was big time back then. And they are dreaming of being a chef on a 5-star cruise liner. I'm like, I don't know why, but I know I could help that person. I know I could take them from that miserable experience. And I just knew it. And so this was the beginning of where I am now. So I loved that vision. I was excited about it. And then as I just thinking about my whole life, I'm like, yeah, I can do that with people. I can get them clear. I can get them excited. I can get them like momentum, accountability, all these things that didn't exist. The only thing at that time was therapy. So I thought, okay, I'll go back to America. I'll get my master's in therapy, but behind my closed door, I'm going to do this other thing. So I get back to America eventually, and I tell a friend this, and then he says, what are you going to do now? And so I told him all of this, and he said, Laura, you don't need to get a master's in therapy. You could do that literally right now where he worked, and that's Jenny Craig, the weight loss company. So you can sit with people who right now have a challenge. Right now, they can't seem to get their behavior changes, and they can't keep momentum, and they can't stay focused and energized on their goal. That made so much sense to me. And that was the very beginning. I hung up the phone with him, picked up the phone, called 1-800-JENNY, got the closest center to me. I told them everything I just told you. They said, come in for an interview. The very next day I did. Next day they called me, you're hired. Next day I began working at Jenny Craig. And that was in 1996. Through 27 years of coaching one-on-one, the thought behavior link that we all have, I have definitely honed my ability to help others understand how they work, and then to pay attention to how people are working with what they've got, and then conditioning and teaching them to work differently. In 27 years, I have a niche within that niche, and that is the words people are using in mundane, everyday, seemingly no big deal words that you've already used today 14 times, some of these words. I know there are words that if you use this word in your thinking or you're speaking, you're as good as stuck in the garage. Car's not going anywhere. And there are words that if you've already used them, they've gotten you around town, they've gotten you across country on driving tours. So they work, but you don't necessarily know the high octane fuel these words are. And so I just simply want to illuminate to people and help them condition, literally use these words. Don't just use them, say them, use them. So that's what my new effort is. Instead of one-on-one, I want to speak to groups and organizations and be on podcasts and just help get this out.
I have so many questions, and I'm glad you told us the full story, because I'm always amazed at people who are able to find their thing early in life. My brother has known he wanted to be a pilot. My sister, a physical therapist forever, since high school or younger. Marketing wasn't a job. Interviewing people at a podcast wasn't a thing you could do. So my journey has been very much evolved. And so when you talk about knowing in 1995 that coaching or being able to help people realize what they want to do is tremendous. Absolutely tremendous. And so when because when did you start your own business and your own?
Yeah, I started in 1998. So 1996, I started at Jenny Craig. After 2 years of working there and getting confirmation from clients, oh my God, nobody's gotten through to me this way. I knew, I'm like, I know this is a gift. Nobody told me to be like this. That's a gift. Like a gift is something
100%.
it's just there. It's just been there. And so in 1998, I began training, and that's when I really started coaching. But then in 2000, I am on my own, Laura Burkey coaching.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I have so much admiration for people who know so deeply that that's what they want. Was there any fear, or did you find, because it's always hard to coach ourselves, right? It's always hard to unwind our own thoughts and patterns, even though we know that that's what's happening. Was there any fear or anything along those lines as you were starting out when you decided to do that?
Oh, yes. I had, for sure. I mean, in fear I was not, there wasn't fear that what I felt was, here's my purpose. I got it. I know what I'm good for. I know what I love, really. There was never fear about going for it. The fear came, and then like the journey along the way and what you have to do to build it. I am my number one client. Even a week and a half ago, I'm a human being. We have the full spectrum of emotions. And fear isn't an emotion to never have. It's useful. And that's something I like to teach people, is it's useful. When you have fear, you can either let it drill you down in a hole, or you can let it propel you up to soar. And so I didn't always know this. I've learned, I've applied all of this over the years. And so I've learned. So now I just do it right away. When I feel fear, so I'm going to give you a little insight, even though we haven't talked about, unpacked these words, but just a week and a half ago, I was laying in bed and I'm trying to fill this event. It's my first event. I just went like in this new direction with my career at the beginning of this year, which was, what are we now, 4 months ago. Never put on a big event. And here's where the fear comes up. What if people don't come? I've rented a room and I'm built a workbook and I'm doing all these things. I'm like, and what if nobody comes? So there's the fear, right? I'm afraid. And so here's how words are very powerful. So what if nobody comes? Immediately makes me feel afraid, makes me feel nervous, makes me feel anxious. Those words put together in that syntax, not a good idea. So then I'm like, okay, hold on a second, Laura. So go back and remember. And so there's many ways about this, and you're a coach, you know this. So there's many ways to get out of that hole, but I had to apply words. So first I go to clarity, because clarity is power. And I'm like, okay, remember why. Why are you doing this? Why is this important? And that right there, just answering that question, you answer that question. And then when I face the same day that I woke up a little bit nervous to go into, I don't feel like that's dissipated. And now I feel excited. Oh, because this is what I'm doing, because people need to know this. So then courage and confidence come up for me to go to the networking event, go tell people about this, because I don't love marketing and self-promoting myself. A lot of people don't. And so, yes, it sounds like, Laura, yeah, I do that all the time. Great, you do it all the time. But what a lot of people, and I just know from working with so many people over the years, what they don't do is they don't remember. And there's another word. They don't remember. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. And then people do this. And so one is clarity. When you are crystal clear about something, what naturally shows up is confidence. I can do this. And certainty. I will do this. So that's the power of clarity. People have lived and experienced this, but they don't necessarily know the packaging of it. And so now they can just remember, oh, that's right. Just get clear about what I'm doing. I'll get that confidence and that certainty, and then on with my day, instead of 5 days or 5 weeks of stuck in a hole. Make sense?
Absolutely. That's great. And you brought me to one of my next questions that I have on my list of questions for you, is when you talk about those words that are so powerful, we've all heard the words that aren't, right? We know those words. I don't even want to talk about them. I will say the words that I banished recently for myself is, I have to figure this out. Like, I have to figure out how to blah, 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 blah. Because for me, that gets me caught in a cycle of, I love to learn things. Let me figure out how it works. And then all of a sudden I'm over here when I need to be over here. So for me, helping myself, I'm no longer allowed to say that. I have to either have to be in action, or it has to be like, I can set it aside and let someone else do that. So I know about taking words out of your language, but I'd love to talk more about how you put those keywords into your language. And do the two go hand in hand for you?
Yeah, I will. And I hope people, your audience is listening, I hope they will write down these, because everyone says this is a game changer. There are a lot of things that game change. And these 4 words, this was the beginning of me knowing there's something in words that I'm going to start paying attention to. You just said there's one thing that gets you stuck or stops you. And that was, you said, I banned this from me. I have to figure this out. You banned that sentence from me, right? Another way to say that in one word is how. How am I going to do this? How am I going to get double my audience or my listeners? How am I going to send my kid who's going to college in August? How am I going to get the money to afford that by August, right? How am I going to buy my daughter who's 16 a car? How am I going to make the transition from being a one-on-one coach to now wanting to be a speaker? We say this so automatically. And we've learned this generations. We just think we actually know how. And the thing is, you don't know the how. You can't know the how.
Right.
Here's my simple,
Right.
because some people might listen to this and go, yes, I do. Yes, I can. Sure. Some things that you do know how. You have your special brownie recipe and you know how to make that brownie recipe. Yes. I'm not talking about those kind of hows. How to get to Aunt Cecilia's house. I'm talking about when people say, how am I going to get there? How am I going to figure this out? Those kind of moments, you've banned it because you know that doesn't work. And I've banned how. It's the same thing because we can't know how. And here's my proof.
Right.
You, Kendra, you have more than anyone else in your life been with Kendra every single minute of your life. And because the way humans are designed, there's a lot that we automate, a lot of patterning in what we do. Just like putting makeup on, we do it. Each person does it exactly the same. Whatever their order of business is, they do it the same. Or how a lot of people get to work, or the way they prepare their Thanksgiving Day dinner. I'll do this first, then I'll do that. We are like that. So you've been with yourself. And even as much as you know yourself, your patterns, your ways, and all that, even the rest of today, however many hours are left in this day, you don't know how the rest of the day is going to go. You do not know how it's going to go. You don't know if you're going to get there late because there's traffic, or you don't know that you change your mind about something, or something interrupts and disrupts you. So we don't really ever know how, or even I'm going to meet my good old girlfriend who I always see, we're going to catch up, but you don't even know how that conversation or how that interaction, that social engagement is going to go. You can guess, but you don't really know how. Does that make sense to you?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So the how is not our domain. It just isn't. So we can know what we want to do and we can know why we want to do it, but we can't really know exactly how for lots of things. And so the replacement word for that, and I stopped saying how. I have for 11 years, 12 years, I don't say how. Now, again, I have to say this so people don't think I literally never use the word again. And it's because my clients will say it and they'll go, oh, I'm like, no, sometimes you like I can say, how do you get to this place? Or how do you unlock that door? Because it's really, the key sticks weird and the doorknob doesn't turn easily. Oh, here's how you do it. So yes, you can use it. But when it comes to things like, creating in your life, going for and pursuing a goal or a change in life or improvement or whatever, instead of say how, you instead switch out with ways. What are some ways I can begin speaking for groups, instead of how am I going to get a speaking engagement? What are some ways I could get a speaking engagement? What are some ways I could tell people? And here's what's so cool, because we are natural creators, that the moment you give yourself that kind of limitlessness or openness, psychologically, whether we're aware of it or not, we actually think there's one answer. There's one needle in that haystack, and I've got to find the answer, the one right answer to fill up my event. So then that makes us chase to go read a book, go find a person, go get a mentor, go get a coach who can help me do that. Or they stress bullets because they're like, what am I going to do? How am I going to do this? And so if you say, what are some ways I can do this? And then you start writing it. I could tell all my best friends. Oh, I could post it on Facebook. I could post it on Instagram. I could ask the local paper to do an interview. Look what starts to happen. Just naturally. Oh, because we are naturally creative, you literally trip your wellspring of creativity and you can get a whole piece of paper of ways. And then that is where you're like, oh my God, look at all these options. So that one change, stop asking yourself how, and just ask, what are some ways I can do this?
That is so interesting. I love that. I used to work in cannabis marketing and CBD, and there's so many regulations when you start to look at marketing in that space. And so after working in regulated markets for quite a while in my career, I actually put a guide together for marketing and regulated marketing. One of them is flipping your brain from I can't to what if we could, or what if I could. And it's almost the exact, like different words, but it's the exact same idea, because when you switch it from we can't run ads, we can't do this, we can't do that, and you start to look at, but what if I created partnerships? What if I found different ways to do something? Like you get there with the ideas, with the what if. And it's really interesting to be able to do that same thing for how. Because, and I'm going to go here for a little more. I had one of my first business coaches would say to me, let go of the how. And my brain was so stuck on corporate life. Like, I have to be able to tell you how to do this. Like, I couldn't unwind because I didn't understand, because she didn't. There was nothing to replace the let go of the how
Mhm.
for in my brain. So what you just did is you did that. You didn't just give half, you gave the whole thing, which tremendously grateful. And I hope those of you who've tuned in understand the power of what Laura just shared, because it is so powerful. Because there's so many times we hear let go of the how, but you're like, cool,
Yeah.
now what? How do I even do that? So you just answered that question in a really powerful and easy way.
That is my style. That is my signature. I want things easy. I want an easy life. I decided this a long time ago. And back when I decided this, so this is like early 2000s, easy was considered lazy. Like if you
Yep.
wanted easy, you're lazy. You don't want to work hard.
Yep.
But I was like, I think easy's smart. Like to me, making it easy is smart because you aren't like, I won't go into that explanation, but it's just like, why would you want
I
to
get it.
labor? Why would you want to feel you're enduring something? Why would you want that heavy energy to something when you can stay? I really do believe in more the light, buoyant, like that to me seems to be the best way of life. That higher excitement, higher, I am going to say vibration, higher frequency I am. It's not heavy. Like who wouldn't want to be tripping along the water versus being submerged and yanked under the water? So it is easy to make this kind of switch like that.
So what other, can we unpack some more of those words, or are they like your proprietary words?
So I'm happy to, because I've got tons of them. And then I do have phrases, and I also have ways to communicate, like using metaphors and visuals and stuff. But so you said in other words. So I always like to just like how you speak. I'm going to extract one that you already used, or it came up earlier about 5 minutes ago in our conversation. You said you were interested, or you found something interesting. So when you are interested, even when you hear me say you were interested, or I just use the word, notice how you feel about just that word, how your body is responding or resonating to just the word. How does your body feel?
Curiosity is one of my values. So like interest and curiosity to me are very close together. So I'm like, ooh, I am interested. What am I interested in? Tell me more.
You feel good, you're smiling, you're open, you're receptive, you're engaged, you're very present. Interest turns you on. Oh, I am interested. Ooh, tell me more. So tell me this before I do. What is something that you're interested in right now? I know that you're interviewing me, but what are you interested in right now? What's something that you're doing in your life right now that, or with your business or whatever, just in real simple, like I'm interested in, and then just finish the sentence. What's something that you're interested in?
I am interested in continuing my health journey.
And in your health journey, what is, because there's many aspects to that, right? That contribute to that. So is there something in particular that you are especially interested in about your health journey?
I've been focused for a long time on my physical health. And now I've been learning and researching and building on the energetic side of things. So you touched on that earlier when you were talking about the energy and the vibration. Like I've been researching that quite a bit lately in the last year or so.
Great. So you're interested in, ooh, let me see what I can do with the energy of me. Like, how can I amp that up, or improve that, or refine that? Or that's what you're interested in, is
Yep,
like how,
absolutely. Absolutely.
and even naturally, how will I do that? So you are interested in the energetic part of you, the energy body. And like, what about that? And just notice how you feel. And we already said this, being interested lights you up. Most people, it does. Now, what most people do, and they use that word, you may not have made the connection until right now. When I say interested and I talk about it, and I'm literally using the word interest as I speak about it. Look, everybody look at me. You're smiling, like you are lit up. Now, here's what most people do. Most people say this. If it wasn't you and I right now talking or whatever, and maybe you were talking to someone else, you might find yourself say, God, I really want to create more energy in my body, or I really want to improve my energy. So you really want that. Now, just notice the feeling of the word want when it is.
It's heavy.
And It is. And we are, again, it is so well worn. It is so deep in the programming of how we think and how the collective talks that we say want a lot. I want to lose weight. I want to make more money. I want to go to sleep and be fine. Again, it's not, you can't go crazy. It's 100% everything. But what people will say want, and what that does is it diminishes. In fact, if I may, the word want is a verb with multiple meanings, including to have a desire for something, to lack or be deficient in something. So when you use the word want and you use it naturally, what you're saying is, oh, I have deficiency and lack, that you're really making a statement of, I have lack and deficiency. So if you say, I want money, you're actually saying, I lack and I have deficiency in money. The etymology, so the origin, the root of want. Okay, so it means way back to use the word lack was to diminish or to lessen something. So it's almost counterproductive. You say, I want more money, only through time and the cultural development of that word has it been more attached to desire and things that we want to pursue. So that's what's happened to that word. But the origin, the root of the word, which is I believe in the origin of the root. I believe in those. So using the word want is definitely something to step away from. And what is the replacement? I'm going to give you a replacement because you like that. Instead of saying, I want to make more money, you say, I'm interested in making more money. Or in fact, we don't make money. You cannot accomplish that because you don't make money. You earn money, you spend money, you share money, you gift money, you enjoy money, but you do not make money. There's a whole lot in that. But so the replacement for want is I'm interested in earning money. I'm interested in raising my vibration. I'm interested in dropping a dress size. I'm interested in eating all organic food, whatever. So that is the replacement for want. Does that make sense to you?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And I've seen it so many times, right? With people, and you can feel it. Like you said, if you're paying attention, you can feel the word I want. I want to be healthy. I want to grow my business. I want more clients. Whatever that thing is that you're hearing, I don't want to say it sounds desperate because it's not intended that way, but it definitely implies a lacking for sure. So I'm not surprised by the fact of the etymology of that word. I think it's really interesting though.
And 27 years of coaching has shown me too that there is a psychological immediate hit when you say, oh, I want to go on a vacation this summer. So you've said that from your brain, but psychologically, and your feelings are all here in the body, your body says, but that's not going to happen. It probably isn't going to happen because I don't have the money. It's too late to do it. It's going to be too hot. All the crowds go, or whatever are the reasons. But that is, so then you have that against you. Because once you say you already have the fight inside of you, that's not going to happen. Because I've wanted.
I was just going to say, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, it almost sounds like I want to do this, but there's like a hidden except or but at the end of that, like comma, but
yes,
here's my 4 reasons why that's not going to happen. Or here's, I don't know, like you said earlier, I need to do these 10 things first.
So want is another word. Get it out of there. How? Get it out of there. And one more I'll share with you because it really fits with want. So it's okay if you start with, gosh, I really want to start a podcast, or I really want a new car. It's okay to say that. Then I highly recommend you back up over that very automated thing that your brain would say. You back up and you re-say it. You re-say it and say, I am really interested in a new car. And then you'll notice your body. Your body's either going to be energetically, because here we are, you and I are on the same page with that. You'll either feel the excitement of it, or you're going to actually get a little tug that actually, wait a second. And here's the second thing. What I've seen in our business of coaching, and I was guilty of it myself until I caught wise. We will write down at the beginning of the year, a lot of people will do this with New Year's resolutions, and any other time of the year, they will get a piece of paper out, their journal, and they will write down all their goals. Or they'll go to some great workshop or retreat and they're encouraged, write your goals. And so they do. And then some of those things on that list, they are able to get right on. They do start running. They do change their diet. They do take a trip. They do buy their car. And some of the things they don't get on. And then the things they don't get on is almost more what they focus on. And they feel, what's wrong with me? Why can't I do this? Why am I so lazy? Why doesn't anything ever work out for me? I said I wanted a car and I don't have a car. And that, again, takes a big nick or ding out of a person's self-concept that they are capable and able of creating what they want. And here's the thing. I'll use me as an example. Once upon a time, I thought I would like a summer home. I would like another piece of real estate somewhere that I could go in the summers because I wasn't authentic and genuine. It's like whatever else was wanting. So I added that to my list years ago. And then it would sit on my list. And every year I would just keep pulling that one over and keeping it on my list. And it never happened. And so here's the thing. You can be interested in something, but not ready for it. And some people may know this inside unconsciously, but the conscious mind doesn't have the clarity of that. And so what I say is you can make your list of, you can call it that first. And then you can restate it as I'm very interested in these things. And then from that list of things that you're interested in, anything that you are ready for, you put an R next to it or star. So you can see within your own list, okay, these are things I'm interested in a lot, but I'm only ready for two of these things. And then only pursue those things you're ready for. Energy begets energy. Success begets success. So if you focus on the things you're ready for, the things that you're interested in, you will have a lot of energy for it. And you will go for it. And the clarity of that gives you the confidence and certainty that I've talked about. And so then here you become a perpetual creator, a perpetual accomplisher. Or what I like to, the word I use now is I was victorious. I just love it. I'm going to be victorious because I like that word personally. So I'm like, I'm going to be victorious with this. Any idea I have, anything that I'm interested in, I have the automatic assumption, oh, that will happen. I'm not ready for it now, but when I am ready, because it's on my list of interests, that will happen. It's a different you who shows up, and people vibe off of it. People see that and they're like, wow, either I want some of what she has, or I trust her, or I want to collaborate with her, or I want to hire her because look at her. She just keeps going and it's easy.
No, I think that's really smart. One of the things that I've been also looking at is with clients more and more is their values, right? Like understanding what their unconscious values are in order to say, you know what, you're creating goals or wants that don't align with what you're saying is most important to you and what's driving your behavior. And so that's another thing too, is you might think you want that, but do you really? Is that also why you're not getting it done? Because, and you just added that other layer of maybe not right now, which I think is really, really interesting as well. We're not going to for the sake of everybody, but understanding words and their power and just internally on our energy and how they make us feel and just how they make us think differently, I think has been just absolutely fascinating. So I know those of you listening and tuning in have gotten a lot out of this, and I really hope you're taking notes because this information. And Laura, I will have all your links and everything in the show notes and in the YouTube video and all that, but please let the people know where they can find you as well.
So people can find me at lauraburkeycoaching.com. They can find events that I put on at lauraburkeyevents.com. I'm on Facebook, Laura Burkey Coaching on Facebook. I'm on LinkedIn. So any of those places are a great way to get in touch with me if you are looking for somebody to come speak to your group or to your organization. I will tailor make workshops or events, 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour long. This is very powerful when a whole group, that especially a group that works together, when they all understand together what it means, what words to use, how to use them. I call it, there's a more efficiency in understanding between the people in the group, which is powerful and important in groups.
There's also a deeper connection, and there's also a, like almost a loyalty, or like a, I want to say like an insert group when you start to have shared language and shared terminology as well. So from an organization standpoint, benefits are tremendous for each of the people attending and learning as well.
Yeah. And what I love about this, my final comment is I love that I'm helping you with the word. They're natural. You use them. These are words they are part of your diction daily. And so I'm just helping you have a very like a more precise understanding of them so that you use them to your benefit.
Laura, thank you so much for joining us today. For those of you watching, for those of you tuning in, I hope you've been taking notes because this information's been tremendous. And you'll be able to reach Laura, the place she just mentioned. The links are in the show notes and the comment section below. For me, I'm Kendra Losee. It's kendralosee.com. And I just love helping business owners and entrepreneurs and even creatives, those of you who are creative, learn more about how you can show up and how you can make your career work for you and not the other way around. Until next time.